Hello, this is Vincere from shoutcaststrategy.com, bringing you my first replay of the launch of StarCraft 2. As you can see, no surprise, I am playing Zerg, as that is my worst race, or what I think is my worst race, and my opponent is a blue Protoss named Acid. Well, first things first, let me say that I got a new design for my website, shoutcaststrategy.com. Please check it out. It looks a lot better. Not much eye bleed anymore. If you're paying attention to this chat, you can see Acid's not happy that I'm Zerg, but he should be because I'm terrible as Zerg. And I make some basic mistakes that I need to remind myself about. And I think if anyone else is struggling with Zerg, maybe you have some of the same problems I do. As you can see, I admit Zerg's my worst race to him. I don't mind admitting to people online. Doesn't give me any psychological edge or me any psychological loss because I'm just trying to improve, trying to play games. I am currently in the Platinum division. However, I would rate my Zerg play around gold or silver level. Probably gold. So I lose a lot of my Zerg games. A lot of them I don't go into because I just lose track of what I'm doing. But this one I think is a few key problems I have. We'll keep a close eye on my resources and especially my food and minerals at the same time. I have a bad habit of just not building overlords. As you can see, I'm going for about a 14 or 15 pool. It really depends on how I feel. This time I actually do get my extractor before the spawning pool, so I can get Zergling speed at the same time. We'll see if I even actually remember to do that. I may change my mind due to based on what I scout as well. As you can see, he's going a fairly standard build, getting a second pylon while his gateway's going up, and we'll either see a cyber core go up right after this, or possibly a gateway for some earlier aggression. This poor Overlord Scout won't see anything. And this Drone Scout does see the second gateway going up. I don't take and the gas going up at the same time as the second gateway. I prefer to get that gas a little earlier as Protoss and get the Cyber Core so I can get Stalkers out. I also probably should have tried to abuse this more because he didn't wall off at all, and I could have run a lot of Zerglings in here and done a lot of damage to his probe line. Not sure why I didn't do that when I saw no defense to this wall in. Probably because I want to avoid cheese, but maybe I shouldn't so much. Pausing for 1 second, I need to check. Alright, and there we go. As you can see, since I saw the 2 gate, I went ahead and built a spine crawler because my minerals were kind of high, my food's high, and there comes the 2 overlords, so at least I'm not that stupid. I will get the production tab out. Here you can see my roach warren going up because I saw the 2 gateways and I was afraid of some early zealot pressure. Here's his cyber go finally going up. He's getting the second gas as well. I'm sending out overlords as scouting. Even though this is a brand new map and normally I like Xel'Naga watchtowers, I'm sure it'd be great cross positions, but when you're next to each other and you have this thin line, I don't think the Xel'Naga tower quite covers an army. You would just barely miss it. I probably should take the Xel'Naga watchtower to see how much it does see and see what I do happen to see. But unfortunately this game I do not. Little oversight on my part, but not really a huge flaw. My resources aren't doing horrible right now. I'm getting out my first roaches, I believe, and yes, 4 roaches and 4 Zerglings, because I realized I had forgotten to build Zerglings, so they're coming out a little late. I did not research speed, even though I did have the early gas. And here you can see my food's getting pretty high, and I do have 2 larvae. Oh, I am building an overlord, so I'm doing a lot better about that. I'm still kind of high in the resources. How much energy does my queen have? Enough to be doing another spit, so I'm not even doing that bad with my queen. Getting really high in the resources. Looks like I could have another drone on gas. Just help build up that gas a little bit. And here we go. I have 6 more roaches and an overlord, and my resources are getting down to where it should be. So, not doing too terrible. Here you can see his 3rd gateway going up, another pylon going up. I'm chrono boosting that cyber core so that the warp gate research comes out faster, and you can see he has a lot of zealots and a sentry now. Kind of strange he's not standing at the bottom of his or at the top of his ramp so he can force field this off in case I try to run by with a bunch of Zerglings. And I do send a lone Zergling in to scout him. I see his zealots. I see the fact that he is throwing up 4 warp gates So I know exactly what he's doing now. And my minerals are kind of high because I was probably distracted just like I am now. As you can see, I'm throwing up an expansion and I'm upgrading to a hive so I can research my roach speed. Minerals way too high. I'm not that far away from food cap. I have a lot of larvae here. I should be building roaches and overlords. Instead, I decided to pump out just 12 lings. That's really not the best idea when I saw how many zealots he had. I probably should have just gone for the roaches. Not sure why I did that. Here's another curious thing. I sent all these roaches I have over here to destroy the rocks, and then I go ahead and expand here with the idea that I'd eventually expand here, but it'd be so much easier to defend this expansion from the army he has compared to this expansion. This is wide open. I have this huge opening into this base, and this is nice and closed off. It has a ramp down towards it. He has to go through my main base where I have a spine crawler, so I guess it was just more uncertainty towards the map. I've got a decent army right now. I am researching roach speed. Minerals way too high still. As you can see, it's because I've completely forgotten to spawn larvae as this queen. Still forgetting. Come on now. I see this probe coming in to scout. He sees my expansion. Then I send 2 Zerglings to kill it. I had meant to send more Zerglings so that I could have denied that scout completely without him seeing the roaches, so he wouldn't have any idea what my tech tree is. And because of that, we will probably see more stalkers warping in, but he is getting sentries because I believe he is very high on the gas. Well, not very high on the gas, just high on the gas. And probably be, if I would guess, he'd be researching blinks. Blink stalkers are very effective against roaches. I'm cranking out more overlords now, something I should have done a while ago because I did end up hitting the supply lock. And I did have plenty of time. I have plenty of minerals right now, plenty of gas, and I'm kind of waiting so I can... All these should now turn into roaches. We should see a huge roach production. Come on, I have plenty of food. I've got plenty of resources. What am I doing? Absolutely nothing. Well, I don't know why I was doing that. Look at how high that's getting. That's one of my biggest problems playing Zerg. And it shouldn't have gotten that high. I have 2 hatcheries up even. Why am I not building 3 things here? He did just kill my overlord up here a second ago. I'm sure you saw on the mini-map. And so I knew he had this big force, and I thought it was coming immediately. I should have went ahead and built more roaches here, more overlords. I am supply locked again. I've got plenty of minerals. There's no reason for me to be getting supply locked. I have plenty of larvae here. I've got plenty of larvae here. So just overall bad. And then I lose my focus a little bit more. I'm going to throw up 2 spine crawlers here in just a second, with the idea that this base is lost no matter what I do. And those drones are still just sitting there. I should have at least tried to build them. So I'm convinced this is lost. I built my 2 spine crawlers. I'm throwing up a Hydra den so I can transition in some Hydra lists, which do really good against tier 1 Protoss. As you can see, he built a little bit of a forward pylon here so that he can reinforce his army easier. And he's got a pretty scary looking army here. Now here I finally decided to spend these larvae, and I spend them as drones, which is just stupid. I knew he had this huge attack force. He wasn't just going to sit on it. I assumed he was going to sit on it for some reason. And that was my big lapse of judgment there, one of them at least. So I get these 7 drones up, even though I'm confident that I'm going to lose that expansion. That's why I built the spine crawlers up here and not down there. If I'd built the spine crawlers down here and built a bunch of drones, that would be okay. Just not exactly the best thinking. Here comes more drones. And the worst part is I could have scouted with a drone up here and seen that he had the forward pylon and seen that he had this huge army still, and I would have known he was coming at me very quickly. I'm not sure what he's exactly waiting for. I don't see any upgrades being researched. He's just building up a bigger and bigger army. He is now 94 out of 106 food. I am much less than that. I'm at 90 of 100 food. I'm not doing that bad, but I do have a lot of drones. And here comes the army in, and this queen gets murdered in 2 seconds. And here goes my expansion, and here comes the second horrible mistake of this game. I decide, even though I had written this expansion off, I decide I'd try to come down here and save it. I send my Zerglings up into the Stalkers, and my Roaches and Hydralisks are trying to take on the charge slots. Not really the best battle here, and And just losing all my units, you can easily see. I will apologize right now because I just realized I left the unit bars up this entire game, which I know can be kind of annoying as a spectator. And here's my 2 spine crawlers that are absolutely worthless because they're too far spaced apart. I've got another 2 back here that are doing a little bit of damage, but it would have helped if my army had stayed up here. I get a few Hydralisks coming out. Nothing I can really do right now. I don't have the Larva count. My Queen's energy on both Queens were getting too high. I wasn't keeping that up. I supply locked myself a few times, which snowballs itself because you have to wait for the Overlords to get built, and you're still collecting just so many resources. Just an overall bad game for me due to just some bad decisions. It really emphasizes the need for scouting. So I hope you enjoyed this replay. I hope you learned some of the importance of scouting with this game. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. That makes me very happy. Please go to my website, register on my forums, leave me feedback, tell me things I'm missing and that I can do better. So anyways, thanks for watching.